Good morning, student. I am your teacher here with the chapter Heredity. In this chapter, we will study about how the characters passes from one generation to another and what are the characters which passed from one generation to another. What are the factors responsible for that? And what are the characters we receive from our parents, and why are the few characters which are not received, or if it is received, why it does not appear? So all these things we will study in this chapter Heredity. First, we will know the meaning of the heredity. Heredity, also called inheritance or biological inheritance, is the passing on of traits, means characters, from parents to their offspring, either through asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. The offspring, cells or organisms acquire genetic information of their parents. So, it doesn't matter that whether it is a sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction. In both the conditions, the offspring will get the characters from their parents, as we know that during the reproduction time there is the replication of the genetic material, and when we talk about the sexual, there is combination of the genetic material of two different gametes to form the zygote. So what these gametes are formed from the parent's body. Okay, so we are getting whose character? We are getting the parent's character. One bacterium divides and then result into two bacteria divide again. The four individual bacteria generated would be very similar, as it is a asexual reproduction and the genetic material is being replicated. There would be only very minor difference between them generated due to small inaccuracy in the DNA copying. So when there is the DNA copying, that time what happens? Very minor difference come. It is not the major one, like the sexual traits, a particular characteristics that can produce a particular type of behavior or characters is termed as traits. Inherited traits, and inherited trait is that one that is genetically determined. Inherited traits are passed from parents to offspring according to the rules of Mendelian genetics. Most traits are not strictly determined by the genes but rather are influenced by both genes and environment. So here you can see that one organism has produces the two generations. So creation of diversity over the succeeding generation, you can see that. So here is the succeeding generation. Now in this you will find that there a little bit variation has arrived. So see this is the variation appeared, and here the green color which you can see, this is the variation appeared. But when they produces the individual, in that what happens, due to little bit differences in the genetic material, the variation occurs in both the offspring along with more little bit. Okay, and the same thing happened in the second one also. So the original organism at the top will give rise to, say, two individuals similar in body design but with a subtitle difference. You can see that the difference is red color and the green color. Each of them in turn will give rise to individual in the next generation. Each of the four individuals in the bottom row will be different from each other, while some of these differences be unique, other will be inherited from their respective parents who were different from each other. So in this way how the characters are passed and then the variation. So here you can see some inherited traits like widow peak or not, this hair like structure, this one. Second, one can roll the tongue or not. You just try whether you can roll your tongue or not. So it is also a genetic. Which thumb is on the top? That is length of the fingers. Little finger straight or crooked. You can see this one is the straight one and this one the crooked one. After that, the ear lobes are attached or free. Then Darwin points or no Darwin points. Means this structure is the Darwin points. After that, inherited is that gap between the teeth or not having gap between them. So all these are the inherited traits, means the characters which has been received from the parents. So let it this much for today. The rest of the thing we will discuss in the next.